In 1555, Michel de Nostradame, better known as simply Nostradamus, published his book Les Prophéties. The book, featuring 942 poetic quatrains, allegedly foretold the future. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, there is no denying that there have been eerie correlations between the predictions of Nostradamus and major historical events. But what about the future that is still to come? Here are just a few of Nostradamus' predictions that we should look out for in 2022. 2021 was a busy year for Nostradamus' predictions. However, one that has been at the forefront of predictions for the past few years is the threat of an asteroid impacting the Earth. Whether a small meteor shower or a catastrophic extinction-level event, Nostradamus referred to fire do I see that from the sky shall fall. In 2021, the Earth did have a near miss with the asteroid 2021 GW4. The asteroid, measuring 16 feet across, didn't pose much of a threat, as it would have most likely broken up into smaller pieces once it hit the Earth's atmosphere. The next near miss, according to NASA, is due to come sometimes around 2029. So, what does this mean for Nostradamus' predictions? While many interpret that fire raining from the sky could be predicting an astral threat, could it be perhaps something far more man-made? War or invasion of France? It's very difficult to pin down exact dates with Nostradamus' predictions, as they're based on astrological movements. However, one that can be narrowed down to perhaps being due in 2022 is the prediction of war reaching Europe. The invasion of France by a threat from the east is a recurring theme throughout Nostradamus' predictions, but the following prediction is speculated to be referring to the spring of 2022. Bluehead shall whitehead harm, in such degree as France is good to both shall her amount. Much like all of Nostradamus' predictions, it is delightfully vague. Could this prediction be alluding to the breakout of World War III or France's qualification into the 2022 Qatar World Cup? Keep an eye out for the team that beats France to see if their kit is white. Inflation and starvation. Another stark possibility that Nostradamus warns against is the rising prices in a failing economy. Nostradamus stated, "No abbots, monks, no novices to learn. Honey shall cost far more than candle wax. So high the price of wheat that man is stirred, his fellow man to eat in his despair." Political instability, Brexit, and a worldwide pandemic have all contributed to an inflation boom in recent years. But did Nostradamus predict the #EatTheRich movement? Or is this quatrain to be taken more metaphorically? Either way, it's safe to assume that he was telling us not to be surprised if 2022 is the year that inflation and hunger lead to rebellion. Global warming. Perhaps not a surprise, given the climate over the past few years, but raising sea temperatures were something that Nostradamus predicted in 1555. Like the sun, the head shall sear the shining sea. The Black Sea's living fish shall all but boil. When Rhodes and Genoa half-starved shall be, the local folk to cut them up shall toil. With global temperatures climbing, sea levels rising, and food chain complications already starting to become apparent, is 2022 going to be the year where temperatures reach breaking point? Perhaps fish won't boil in the sea, but we are already witnessing a mass extinction level event happening across the globe. The death of coral reefs, decimation of natural habitats, and declining number of fish globally could be a warning sign that Nostradamus' predictions of boiling seas and starving populations are just around the corner. Rise of the artificial intelligence. Technology has evolved so much over the past few decades that it's hard to predict what developments will be made one year to the next. This makes it even more impressive that Nostradamus appeared to hypothesize about artificial intelligence almost 5 decades ago. The moon in the full of night over the high mountain. The new sage with a lone brain sees it. By his disciples invited to be immortal. Eyes to the south, hands in bosoms, bodies in the fire. Artificial intelligence can range from smart speakers and predictive text to facial recognition in self-driving cars. Many experts have issued warnings about the implications of relying too much on technology, especially when it comes to robots. Nostradamus was ahead of this curve with his description of immortal disciples and the potentially negative consequences.